Hello, is everybody here? We're starting in a minute here. Hola, hi, I'm so bored. Yeah, Anna, you're always bored. Is it Gianna's birthday? Happy birthday, Gianna, if you're even on yet. How old's Gianna today? Oh, there you are. Hey. How old are you, Gianna? And did you get anything cool for your birthday? Anna says Nani. Anna, what does Nani mean? Do you know? I'm curious if you know that. So today we're going to be looking at finding the whole. So we looked at finding the percent yesterday, and before that we find um, the uh, the part before. Yeah, good, good. And it does mean what in Japanese. I was just wondering if you knew that. I think sometimes you say nana too, or nan, but that's okay. I don't know much Japanese. So here we're going to look at finding the wholes out of things. And again, there's a bunch of different ways to do it. And if you ever forget, you can always use this. This will solve all three types of problems. This will find the whole, this will find the part, this will find um, the percent. It will find all of it for you. So here we're going to look at finding what number. You're going to get problems that ask kind of like this. I think your book actually puts a variable here for what number instead of saying the words what number, but it's the same deal. And again, just like days before, you can do this by reasoning. Right. If you wanted to, you could do it by reasoning, which probably isn't the best approach for these. But again, just thinking about 100% is going to be your x value here. That's your unknown. And you know that 30% is 840. So you can find 10% really easy by just dividing that by 3. So 840 divided by 3 gives you 280. And then you multiply that by 10 to get your x, which will be 2800. Double check if I read that right. Yeah. So, I mean, you can do it by reasoning. Finding 10%, again, these are percents. Finding 10% is easy, then just multiply it by 10 to get 100, or finding 1% would be easy, then multiply by 100 to get 100. But yeah, you can do it by reasoning. You could also do it with the algebra, which is using this setup. So again, here you have percent over 100 equals is over of. And again, this here is your is word. This here is your of word. This here is your percent. You can see how it kind of just comes out with it. In that case, your percent would be 30 over 100 is equal to 840 over x, and you don't know that, and then you cross multiply. And hopefully you're getting good at cross multiplying. So you can do it that way, or you can do it just by using that multiplication like we did before. Multiplication. Keeping in mind the word of equals, well, I guess I shouldn't use an x, equals multiply. So here you have 30% times your of number, whatever it is. In this case, that's going to be your unknown, equals 840. And then you just do your, this is a 30%, sorry. And then you do your algebra, but keep in mind this percent has to be a decimal. So you got to make this a decimal first. So 0.3 times x equals 840. And you can just divide each by 0.3. But yep, those are all the different ways to do it. So there's method 1, 2, and 3. Pretty simple stuff. You've been doing it all week. So today's assignment is page... Oh, wait a minute, what is it off the top of my head? $210. There's only 12 of them. But pick a way you're comfortable with and do it. It's very similar to what you've been doing in the days past. Again, if you're using this method up here, your unknown just jumps around. Just pay attention to what the problem is saying. And today, your unknown is always going to be at the bottom. So that's kind of how it works. And again, this is the workbook. Are we doing the chapter review together? I plan on live streaming for it if you have questions, but I don't think it's going to take that long. Was the link posted in the classroom? I thought it was. Did I not post this? I did not post a link in the classroom. Sorry about that. Porter did though. Good job, Porter. So thanks. I don't know why I didn't post that link. I must have got sidetracked for it. I apologize. If you want me to do them again, I will. If you come on. If you have questions about it, you can ask. The chapter review, again, if you need me, I'm gonna put a link for it, but again, it's just gonna be there if you have questions. And I think I already unlocked it, so if you wanted to start it, you can. Did I unlock that? That's probably what I did this morning, thinking, hey, I took care of everything. Yeah, I unlocked the review. So if you want to start Friday's work, you can. I'm not going to tell you, hey, you have to do that on Friday. But yeah, nice save, Porter. Thank you. Let's look at number 8. There it goes. Number 8 says 62.5% of R is 25. So first thing I would do is, I can actually color code this. That might be better for you. I would solve it doing algebra because it's good practice for you. And it has a decimal. I wouldn't play with a decimal. I would just do it algebraically and just type it in the calculator to solve it. But you know it's going to be in the form of this. And you need a percent here. And you'll note there's a percent. You need your is number here, and you'll know there's your is number. And you need your of number here, and you'll note there's your of number. So when you go to plug everything in, you're going to get 62.5 over 100 equals your is number is the 28th, your of number is R. And then you cross multiply to solve. So to solve, 100 times 28 is 2800. 62.5 times R is 62.5 R. and then you just divide by 62.5. And again, if you want to use a calculator for that, I'm not testing your ability to do long division here. 2800 by 62.5 gives you 44.8 equals R. So your whole is 44.8. There are no units here because there's no context. It's 25. What are we talking about? I looked and you posted a Chapter 11 review. Is that the correct one? Chapter 11 review is tomorrow. Pay attention to the dates on the assignments. That's for the 17th. I will go over it tomorrow, but I mean, I figured I might as well unlock it for you, give you a little more time to work on it if you want, but that is what we're doing tomorrow. And I don't know what is 25. Did I do this wrong? According to the book, I did. Maybe this isn't 44. What is this? Oh, this is 25. That's what you're talking about. Well, then just change this number to 25. Sorry. Thanks. This is 25. Which makes this 25. Which makes this 5. Which makes this different. So 2500 divided by 62.5 gives you 40. So R is 40. I'm sorry about that. I copied it wrong. So that's one way to do it. You could reason through that if you wanted to. That's going to be tough to reason through. I wouldn't reason through that. You can do that multiply-wise. You know that 62.5% times R equals 25. That's going to be 0.625 R equals 25, and then you divide 25 by 0.625. I should not leave that empty. That'll work too if you want to do it that way. I meant 10, not 8. What is Logan saying? Is this number 10 for page 210? Hopefully, because that's what I'm about to do. And if you haven't noticed, there is latency between what I'm doing and what you're telling me. So number 10. Number 10 says, in the school district, 63 teachers have high school diplomas as their highest degree achieved. How many teachers are in the school district? What? In the school district, 63 teachers. The table shows the highest degree obtained by public school teachers in a certain school district. Okay, so highest degree and percent. Just copying the table so I can reference it. We have high school has, what was that, 3%? We have bachelor's has 40%. And I guess MEd is 48%. Specialist is 8% and your PhD is 1%. So out of this, it's saying 63 teachers have. So out of this, it's saying 63 teachers are in the high school group, which is 3%. So 63 teachers represents 3%. I think I'm reading that right. So 63 teachers represent 3%, and then this is the information that's given you. It's asking you what the total number of teachers are. So to reword that to something that fits our problems that we've been doing, you're going to think that 3% of the teachers, I'm going to say T for teachers, is 63. So 3% of the total teachers represents 63 teachers. With that, you can solve by doing your algebra if you want, or however else you want to do it. Again, there's your percent, there's your of, there's your is. So 3 over 100 equals 63 over t. And you can solve from there. And 63 divided by 3 gives you 21. Teachers. So that's how many total teachers there are. So the book's going to read that right? Yeah. I read that right. Number 11 uses, I think, the same chart. Was it? I didn't read it. Use your answer from exercise 10 to find the total number of teachers whose highest degree is bachelor's degree or a master's degree. So this was for number 10. I'm concerned about that. For number 11, I'm concerned about both of these. So the BS and the MEd. Bachelor's in 11. So total, just total wise, I'm concerned about both these combined. So I'm going to add them up. 40 plus 48 gives you 88%. So I am looking at that 88% for this. Just reading into it. And we're going to find the total number of teachers whose highest degree, bachelor's degree. So we know that the 88% represents your percent here. This is number 11, by the way. And you know this here is a part, so it's on top. So a part would go here. That would be your unknown. So this is like we did yesterday. So your unknown would be here. I'm just going to call it X. And then your whole out of all your teachers is the 2100. And then you can solve it that way. You don't need the percent sign here. So 88 times 2100 gives you something. $184,800 equals 100x. And then you're just going to divide by 100. We're just going to knock 2 zeros off. And this is teachers with and Bachelor's of Science or Master's of Ed. Is my face in the way? No, I'm good. But yeah, it's really the same kind of stuff we've been doing all week. It's just, again, the variable floats around that little template. So as long as you remember percent over 100 equals is over of, and you know how to use it, you should be good. How do you know which number goes in which places when using the formula to find a whole? I gave you two formulas, so whichever one you want to explain. You can do it this way, and again, is represents a part, and of represents a total. So just keep that in mind. How do you know what goes where? Again, 12, you know that it is percent over 100 is equal to a part over a whole. Right? You take your percent, you divide it by a fraction, or by 100, you get your fraction. So, yeah, so you know based on the word is and of in the form in the question, if you want, you can write it that way. The other way to do it was I showed you that you take your percent and you multiply it by your whole, and it equals your part, which is really just the same thing as this, right? Percent times whole, right? And then part times 100. But this is as a percent, so you want to take that to a decimal. So you can write it like that as well. All the answers are looking for actual numbers today. So it is not a percent today. So number 8 is just 40. There is no units to this because there's really no context. It's just saying, hey, these are numbers. There's no percent. Any other questions? If there's no further questions, we can be done for today. Just work on that. Tomorrow's assignment is unlocked as well. Yeah, I'll do number 7. Tomorrow's assignment is unlocked as well, so you can go in there. Start working on it if you're bored. You're not going to get something new tomorrow. It is just review. There's some on the stuff we're doing this week, and then there's some on the stuff we did last week. Hi, Lyra. Sorry if you missed it. I will go over a couple with you right now if you're just coming on. But Finn asked about, or Logan asked about number 7. So I'll do 7, then I'll do 5. And again, this is workbook, page 210. So number 7 says 64% of Q is 96. Again, you're looking at percent over 100 equals is over of. Just use this as a formula, probably the easiest way to do things. And just pick it out. Percent's easy to find. It has a percent sign next to it. So this is 64 over 100 because 100 is a constant. Is 96, it says right there. So 96, and then of Q, it says that right there. Q's there. And then you just cross multiply to solve. 64 times Q is 64Q. 100 times 96 is 9600. And then you just divide by 64. Let's see, 64 will cancel, leave you with Q equals 150. So there's your answer. 5 is done pretty much the same way. 5 is stating 92% of R is, of Z. I'm copying my own 92% of Z, or Z as the Europeans call it, is 575. And again, percent over 100 equals is over of. Percent is 92 over 100. Is 575. Of is Z. Cross multiply, 92z equals 57500. Divide by 92, divide by 92, z equals 625. Maybe. Depends on how I did it. If I'm doing it with this template for, I'm sorry, Eli, for number 11, if I didn't translate, if I'm doing it for this, you're going to leave it as 88 for the percent because it is asking for a percent. If you're doing them like, hey, I want to do 92% times your of number, which is z equals 750. Yeah, you want to change this to a decimal. So sorry if I forgot to do that. But that will be 0. That times z. I guess I don't need parentheses. Equals 575. Here you just do the division by 100 first, and then you divide. Or then you do your algebra. That's the only difference. It's really the same thing. 0.92 and z equals 625 still. And my head's probably in the way of that. No. I have no clue where my head actually is on my screen. %80 of E is 16, Logan. So what we're going to do is, again, percent over 100 equals is over of. 80 is your percent. Is 16. Of is E. And then you solve. If there's no further questions, I'm going to be off for today. Your work for tomorrow is already unlocked if you want to go in and start it. There's 4 sections, or what is it? There's a lot of problems. It's just a lot of them are pretty easy. Right, so there's a section on conversions. There's a section on and what we did this week. So it reviews what we did the past 2 weeks. Yeah, if you're done, you can go if you know what's going on. I'm going to do number 9 for Catherine. Just to give her another example. Make sure you're trying these on your own too. This is a 22.5. So again, percent of is 15 over 100 equals 22.5 over S. And again, you're following this template right here. So memorize that. And with that, you can multiply, which is 2250 equals 15S. This is an S. I don't like S's. Divide by 15, divide by 15, and you're getting 150. equals S. So that's simple. If you liked it one of the other ways, you can do it those ways, but I think this is the easiest way to do things. It's going to be the same for any kind of problem like this you come across. So, yeah. With that, I am going to end it. Again, if you have further questions, you don't understand something, send me an email. I can make you a video. A lot of people are taking advantage of that. Stay on top of things. I am going to live stream tomorrow, but it's just going to be for questions. So give the review a shot before the live stream. That way you can ask questions about it when you get to it. I am not going to sit there and do every single one of those problems on the live stream. Just because me talking through it takes a lot longer than you actually just doing it. So I am going to end it. Email if you have any questions. Thank you. Bye.